Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lillian. In this video I will be showing you how I made this two-piece that I am putting on, and this is a high waist free trouser. I'll be dropping the formula for the crotch extension and the depth on this video. This is it, and right now I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two using the biggest part of my body, which is my hip, divided by 4, and then add 4 or 5 inches to it. And then from this center point I marked out 2 inches where I'll be taking my allowances. From the top I removed 2 inches, okay, which is my band, and mark my body measurement. The first body measurement I marked here is my hip, and the second one is my crotch. Please ignore these lines that I'm canceling. All right, and the next thing to do is for me to mark my knee and also the full length of this trouser, and then connect all the lines. And I want you to remember that the 2 inches I removed while I was marking the body measurement is for our band. And now I'm done extending this line. The next thing I'm going to do is to label them. This is my hip, and the second one is my crotch. This is my knee and the full length of the trouser. This is our waist. Remember, it's a free trouser, so every measurement is going to start from these 2 inches I marked here. Every measurement is going to start from this line, and my waist is going to be the same with my hip, okay, because it's a free trouser, and I'm going to use an elastic for it, okay. And this is the crotch. My crotch is 2.5 inch, okay. I marked it there, and then from the center of this crotch, you can see how I place my tape. I marked out 1.5 inch, although I didn't use it actually. I later reduced it to 1 inch using my ruler. For those of you that doesn't have ruler, you can use your free hand, okay. So you can see I later use my ruler to reconnect the crotch. And then the next thing to do right now is for me to mark my allowance from the crotch. Remember, it's a free trouser. You need to make sure that it's free by marking 1 inch or 2 inches, depending how free you want the trouser to be. So I marked it on the hip and also on the waistline. And then on my knee, I am going to use the same thing I have on the hip on my knee and also on the full length of the trouser. That is what I am doing here. And then I also added 1 inch. It's a free trouser. I repeated the same 1 inch on the knee and also on the full length of the trouser, and then went ahead to connect it from the crotch to this knee and also to the length of the trouser. And then from this center, remember every measurement we had started from this line, okay. So from this center I am marking my allowances. So from the waistline I marked 1.5 inch. I repeated the same thing on the hip, on the crotch, knee, and also the full length of the trouser. And then I'm going to use my ruler to connect all the dots, and then cut all the areas that I do not need. When I was cutting the areas that I do not need, from the top area I left 0.5 inch from there for my band. Remember, we are going to join band on this trouser, and also on the crotch side I left 0.5 inch also there. This is for our back. I placed the front on another fabric folded into two using the biggest part of my body, and I also added allowances that will be enough for the crotch, okay. And from the front crotch I extended the line to the back. You can see what I'm trying to do here. And also the down part I marked, that is the knee and also the full length of the trouser. I added 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. And then for my crotch, back crotch, I added 3.5 inches, sorry, 3.5 inch. And then from the hip and also the waist I added to 2 inches. You can see what I'm trying to do here. I added to 2 inches, and then use my free hand and connect it back to the crotch. You can see what I'm trying to do here. That from that too, I connected it back to the crotch, the back crotch. And then on the top, remember to leave some excess, some fabric on top before placing the front. I marked 2 inches from there, from the back crotch, and then extend it back to the front center. I'm going to show you how that side was done, although the camera did not capture that area, but I'm going to show it later when I cut it off. And you can see it, you can see where I connected it and also added 1/2 inch on the top for joining. And this is for our pocket. The width is 10 inches, the length is 11 inches. And then for the opening of this pocket, I went in by 4 inches and then down, that is the wideness, by 6 inches. After marking it with my free hand, and I didn't like the way it was looking, so I used my ruler to reconnect it the way I want. When I was cutting it, I left some inches. I left 1/2 inch. I didn't use the actual one I marked. So this is it when you want to cut your pocket. Although I have a tutorial on how to cut a pocket and fix it on a trouser, but I'm going to show you a little bit of this one. And this is the final look after cutting the trouser. This is how you are going to join your pockets. You can see you're going to cut your pockets into 4, then open 2, which is going to be on the front, and then the remaining 2 is going to replace this opening. Please, if you are confused, go and watch how to fix a pocket. Is on my channel. And the next thing to do is to close your crotch back and front crotch back and front crotch. Then join the front and back crotch together. Join the side together. That is after attaching your pockets. And then join the side, join the pockets, join the band, join the band, and then hem the length of the trouser. I'm going to show you how to hem this length of the trouser. You can see this is the seam of the trouser. This is the length of this trouser, and this is the seam. I'm going to push one of the seam on the trouser and then fold it this way because I don't have an interlocking machine, so I'm going to fold the first one before folding the second one. Okay, and then go to my machine and sew it. Okay, following the first line, that is the first stitch, and I'm going to open it this way. When you open it, you can see how it's looking. So push this remaining seam, that 1/2 inch. Okay, push it inside. One is already pushed inside because of the way we arranged it. Push it inside. Use your pin and hold all the areas down. Okay, you can see it. Then go to your sewing machine and sew it all around. When you finish, you will see how it's looking. You can see how it's looking. This is it. Perfect. You can see how it's relaxed. And this is the front. See how the front is. And these are the patterns for the upper part, which is the top. I wasn't able to film it when I was cutting it, but I told myself that I'm going to take some pictures. And this is it when I cut it on the actual fabric. And this is when I cut my facing. And I also use organdy on the hand and also use it and design the V at the back. This is the final look. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Bye.